Hey YouTube. Alright, it is Monday night. It is about 10:30 or 11 o'clock, somewhere in there. So I got off work today, went to O'Reilly's, and I picked up some of these just universal plastic fittings, connectors, and some plastic epoxy. This JB Weld plastic weld 5-minute epoxy, and just this little thing of random pieces. I used two different pieces and epoxied them together, and then cleaned this piece out on the inside and the outside, sprayed it down with brake cleaner, wiped it out, made sure it was nice and clean and dry. I used a drill bit and just kind of turned the inside to scuff it up, and used a piece of sandpaper and scuffed up the outer side so they had a nice good bonding surface. Mixed up the epoxy, put it on there, shoved it in, and then made it to where the hose could clamp on there. I let it sit for like 20 minutes, and then I also put epoxy all over the outside, all around it. So I let it sit for like 20 minutes, and it seems nice and strong. I let the car idle, I bled it with the cap off and with the bleeder valve open, and let it run for like 30 minutes, and car's blowing nice hot heat, staying right under the middle. So it's doing good. I'm happy with it. And then so I got some money today, and so I ordered a full stack 2-inch full stack intercooler with the pump and the front mount heat exchanger. I ordered what all I order? I ordered a rear ZZP power log to go with the front power log. I ordered the ceramic coated crossover pipe from ZZP. That was like $350 for those two. I also ordered the fill neck for the intercooler. That was like $40. I got the O2 bunged 90 for right down there where the O2 goes on the headers, which I'm gonna end up using that for the Grand Am, but it was like $25 or something, so I bought it. And I got a couple other things from ZZP also. Spent like $400 something on ZZP. Spent $425 shipped for the intercooler and the pump and the front mount heat exchanger. So all I gotta do is get some line and wire up the pump, and that'll be good to go. I'll be able to run the 2.9 pulley. Oh, I bought an AEM E85 fuel pump to go with that brand new assembly. So that's going to end up going in. I'm going to have to drop the tank to get that in. And I'm going with the 85-pound injector, or 80-pound injectors instead of these 42.5-pound injectors. I still got to get another block. I ordered some brand new pistons, some brand new rod bearings and main bearings. I ordered a set of ARP main studs to go with the ARP head studs that are in this engine. Man, I spent like $1,400 today on parts for both the cars. I mean, I was going to buy a 3-inch radiator or 2.5-inch aluminum radiator for this and take this radiator for the 06, and then it was like less than $20 for both of this. So I just kind of ghetto rigged it so it'll work, and then that way I don't have to mess with this one for now. I did take off the 20s, and I've got the new tires, and I've got everything loaded up in the back seat of the 06. So I've got both of the driver's side wheels here with one tire, and then both of the passenger side wheels on this side with one tire. And then I have the other two in the trunk. So, and then underneath the wheels on that side, I have all 4 of the tire sensors that are programmed to the Red 07. So I'm going to have all those tire sensors put in, have the tires put on, have them all balanced, make sure everything's good to go. And I marked inside of where the center cap goes, like left front, left rear, right rear, so I know which wheel goes where. And the new tires are not, they're not directional, so I don't have to worry about that. My belt was squealing earlier, so I just swapped out the belt, and the belt was coming apart. So I got that fixed and got this hooked up. It's full of coolant now. Everything's bled. It's running great. So I'm happy with that. Oh, I also ordered a brand new AC line because this AC line was leaking right there. It had a cut in it somehow. And so I put some RTV on it and a hose clamp to try to seal it up, and it didn't work. It still leaked out. So I ordered a brand new AC line on eBay. It was like $42.95 plus tax with free shipping. So I got the AC line on the way. I got the rear power log and the crossover pipe on the way. I got the intercooler and stuff on the way. I've got, man, I ordered so much stuff today. It's crazy. The rod bearings, the main bearings, the pistons. Like, I've got so much different stuff that I ordered coming. So got a lot of stuff in the making on this. I still got to get another block, or take this block that's back here to the machine shop. This is the original block that chipped the piston in cylinder 3. So this is the original block that came in this car, and it was like that whenever I bought the car for $250. And it still ran and drove. I drove it home from Tennessee to Oklahoma, and it made it. And still drove it around. It just overheated every once in a while, and someone had filled it up with block seal, and I flushed out the whole system, and after that it had its blown head gasket symptoms and was dumping exhaust in the radiator, and then blew out the inside of the radiator and was mixing transmission fluid with the coolant and was pumping antifreeze into the transmission pan. And yeah, it was horrible. That transmission got to like 288 degrees on my way home from Tennessee, but even after I got back, it'll still smoke the tires, even with those 20s on it, with the 225, 35 20s. It was smoke the tires. And that was factory with the still 3/8 pulley, like everything factory tune, before I did the cam or any of this stuff. And it seemed like the factory was like just about even with all this on power. So I don't know, I'm definitely going E85, so I've got to resend this computer back to Daniel Smuts and have him tune it for E85 and the power logs. And I also have that ZZP 3-inch catless downpipe that I got secondhand. So there's the front power log, and then there's the ZZP 3-inch catless downpipe. So I just went ahead and went everything ZZP. There's my 2.9 pulley and my belt, and my 80-pound injectors in that ZZP bag. So I've got a lot of stuff in the making. I've got to get this rear head off of this engine, get all the ARP head studs out. I'm taking this alternator. I'm gonna reuse this supercharger, and it's already got the modular hub, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to use the belt wrap. Whenever I had the 3.0 pulley on before, I had to use the belt wrap to go over the pulley, so the ribs were on top. So if I have to do that again, I might swap this pulley out for a ribbed pulley, so that way I can at least still run the belt wrap. It might not be the correct way, but... And then also, I'm also going to have that 2-inch full stack intercooler on there too, so that's going to change the belt size a little bit also. So I don't know, that belt that I have in the back seat might not even work. But I've got a brand new rack and pinion with inner and outer tie rods and everything I've got to get on here. I've got the brand new fuel pump assembly with the AEM E85 pump on the way. So I'll be able to get that put together and get that in here. I'm going to get some new spark plugs. I'm going to have the full ZZP front and rear power log and ZZP crossover pipe with the catless down pipe. Still running the XPZ cam. Still running the LS7 lifters and the double roller. Still have the ARP head studs and main studs. And so this next build, I'm going to go with the Series 3 supercharged engine, which is probably going to be this block back here, because the rods and everything are still good. And so I got a brand new set of factory supercharged pistons. I'm going to get a dingleberry honer thing and pull the pistons and rods out and hone out the cylinders. All 6 of the cylinders still look great on it. It just chipped that one piston, but the rings are still good. And I mean, I drove the car over here whenever I pulled this engine out, or pulled that engine out and put this engine in. And so I mean, the car was still running and driving. It still had full power. It just had a blown head gasket, and I'm pretty sure it was because of that chip piston. So I also think that's what fucked up this front head, because it was on cylinder 3, and these are the heads off of that engine and the supercharger off of that engine. And like, I pretty much just wire wheeled them, replaced the one valve that chipped that piston because it was barely bent, and just cleaned them up, replaced the valve seals. But I never took them to a machine shop or anything. So I'm thinking maybe this front head was just fucked up, and that's why ever since I did the top swap, it's had a cylinder 3 misfire. And I think that's why it blew out this nice big chunk of engine block. And it's crazy, like all the pistons and everything, like that one looks like it was that, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So it was actually the rear piston rod cap that hit the block. You can see it right there on that one on the right. I'm definitely going to end up having to pull this pan off and have a look in here, but that's just nuts. I can't believe this thing still started and ran, and I drove it off up on the car dolly and then back off the car dolly whenever I did the motor swap. That's just still unbelievable. But yeah, so I got to strip this engine down. I'm going to keep both of these valve covers and the gaskets because they're all brand new. Going to keep the map sensor, O2 sensor, brand new plug wires. I've got another brand new set of spark plugs coming. I'm going to keep this alternator. I've got over in the other storage, I have that red timing cover that I painted up, and it's got the brand new balancer. And I'm going to use this thermostat housing and clean it up a little, make it look a little nicer, but I'm going to end up using that housing. And then I'm going to end up using these Series 2 heads on the Grand Am engine build. But yeah, so I just got to get this engine torn apart. I got to get this engine out and get it torn apart and kind of mix match both of these engines together for what I want to go together for this. And then the rest of the stuff, minus this front head and this front head, are going to have to go to a machine shop eventually before they can be reused. But they'll still be good, rebuildable, eventually usable again supercharged heads. So I'm going to end up using this head as the front head and get it masked off and painted red, and use this rear head. And since I know it's good and I know this one was good, and then that'll give me two good heads, and then I'll have those for the Grand Am. And then I'll still have this supercharger and still the other supercharger that I got from Michigan, and the other fuel rail and injectors. And since I'm putting the 80 pounds in this, I'm probably going to take the 42.5 pounds and put those in the Grand Am. And then since I'm doing the full stack intercooler, I'm going to have to get fuel logs or injector spacers, which the injector spacers are like $100 just for 6 metal spacers. And the ones that I'm looking at, I don't even know if are even the right ones, because I'm pretty sure I have to get 2-inch ones, and those are only like 1/2 inch or 1-inch ones. But I know I've still got some more stuff I have to order. I've got to get a wideband. I've still got to get a scan gauge to scan for KR. I want to get an actual vacuum ran boost gauge instead of the factory one, because with the smaller pulley, as soon as I hit the gas, the boost gauge is maxed. So it's not. I want to have an accurate, exact number on how much boost I'm running. Yeah, so I'm gonna end up taking these headers off, and those are gonna go on the Grand Am, and I'm gonna have all the ZZP shit on here, and so this should be pretty good, running on E85 with 80-pound injectors, intercooled on a 2.9 pulley with a catless downpipe XPZ cam. I think this thing's gonna rip, and so I'm probably still gonna have this head and that rear head checked out when I go take the block to the machine shop, because that block's gonna have to go to the machine shop. And if I don't take that block to the machine shop, then I might end up just buying another junkyard engine for $150 and just buy the block. But I want to get a Series 3 supercharged engine, and that's exactly what that one is. So I don't know. I'm still kind of mixed feelings. Like, I could just, I don't know. Maybe once I get it apart and I see how the crank is, and I mean there wasn't any knocks or anything in this engine, so hopefully everything's good. But I mean, the cam bearings still look good. The cylinders still look good. There wasn't really any play in the cylinders. Just barely any, which is like spec. But I mean, all the cylinders still look good. So I think it'll be fine if I just pull them, hone it, slap it together with these new pistons and rings, and reuse the factory rods, new bearings, new main bearings. And I know everyone says if you do all that, you need to fucking take it and machine it, and I don't know, I'm still going to do some more research before I go final. Like I said, I still got to get this one apart, get this one out, and get it torn apart. I still got a lot of stuff I got to do on this car. And at the same time, I still got to get the Grand Am, the parts Grand Am from Salisaw out here, so I can start getting it torn apart for the 5-speed stuff. And I'm going to have this 2.2 Ecotech engine and this 5-speed transmission for sale. Fitted 99 to 2005 Pontiac Grand Am with a 2.2 and the 5-speed. So I'm going to have all that for sale if anyone's interested on that. Probably like $400 or $500 for both. But I don't know, I've got to get that car out here so I can start getting the 5-speed stuff out of it and get the struts off from my mom's car and the rear window motors from my mom's car and the tracks. And I need to get a bunch of shit done, and I'm just don't have the time. I'm always super busy trying to get everything done between work and all the cars breaking down, and I don't know, I'm just having bad luck. But I'm trying to stay positive and keep my faith and just keep working on my cars, because they're my girls and I love them. And unfortunately, every once in a while, they like to keep breaking down, but it's okay. I'm going to keep rebuilding, and I'm going to get this fucking engine out of here in the next few days, get this one torn down, and get the block off this stand. And I've got another stand over in the other storage. I'm going to get this engine block sitting on once I get it out, so I can get this one torn down. And this is still a rebuildable core. I'm pretty sure it probably just spun a bearing, so this one is totally rebuildable also. And it still runs great, it's just knocking, so I could easily just reuse those rods and throw the pistons in here and just rebuild this block. But then again, this is still a Series 2 block, and I want a Series 3 block. So I don't know. But I'm gonna quit rambling on. I just want to give you guys a little update and let you know what's going on. But I got my little bit of work done on this thing. Kind of ghetto rigged my radiator. Ordered a bunch of shit for the red '07 and for a few things for the Grand Dam. But most of it was for this. So got a lot of stuff ordered. I'm gonna go tomorrow after work and get the tires put on and mounted and balanced and everything, and get the sensors put in. And then I'll come back over here and put them back on. I'm gonna leave the 17s on this for now. And then so my buddy Tommy, I found a set of wheels the other day, and I didn't have the money to get them. And these were his old wheels. And as you can see, he hit a pothole and put a huge dent on the inside and the outside lip of this one. And so I found another set of wheels for $220 with tires on them that were like brand new. And I just didn't have the money, and so I sent them to my buddy Tommy and was like, hey bro, you been looking for some wheels? Let's look a set of wheels. And so he ended up buying them, had his tires put on them, and they actually look really good. And so he sold me his old wheels for $50. And those, I just used the back two for now. The other two don't have tires on them, so I just do the back two on the car so I could get the black 20s off so I can have the new tires put on. And then I'm going to take all these tires that are on the black 20s now, and they're the 225/35s, and I'm going to put those back on all four of these wheels so that all four of them have good tires and they'll stay aired up, because that one still stays aired up even with the huge bend in it on both sides. It still holds like 50 pounds of air. Yeah, I'm going to get all the old tires on all four of those wheels, and then I'll just have an extra set of 20s. Even though they're kind of fucked up, I can put those on the blue silver Grand Prix, or I can put them on the Grand Dam, or I could put them on this and put these back on the Grand Dam, because these used to be on the Grand Dam. And I don't know, there's a few different things I can do with them, but right now my main goal is to get those tires on the black wheels so I can get them back on this, so it'll have my brand new tires and they'll be balanced and have the tire sensors so that fucking tire light will stop flashing in my face every time I drive this thing. But yeah, I've got a long next couple weeks ahead of me, but I'm gonna get some stuff done. So you guys have a good night, and like, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the little update. I know it wasn't much, but I got a lot of goodies that I ordered today coming in, and so here in the next week and a half, I should have everything, and not even including all the stuff that I already have that I've been kind of hoarding over the last couple months and collecting. But I've got a nice bunch of stuff to do to this thing, so it's going to be a work in progress, but it's getting there. And then also, my buddy Tommy, he just got a job at a body shop, so he's going to get me hooked up with getting this hood body worked and painted to match the car with the black. So it'll be all red in the middle, and the outsides and the vents, the scoops will be black. So that's what I'm going for. So it's got some stuff coming its way. I'm giving it some love. And even though she's broke, she still runs, but she's broke. But I've got the 06 going. It runs really good. I'm really happy with it. And I drove it to work today, even with that screw just in the radiator, just blocking it off with RTV. It still leaked a little bit, but it did really well, and it got me all the way to work, didn't overheat, got me all the way back over here, well, back home, then over to the bank, and then back home again, and then over here. And but yeah, I've done it did really well. And then I kind of ghetto rigged the radiator, and it's still doing really well. So now I just can't wait to get the AC line in so I can get AC in this motherfucker. And then once I get AC in here, I'm probably going to let my mom daily this, and I'm going to take her Grand Dam because I've got some stuff I got to do to her Grand Am, which again, I've got to get the parts Grand Am so I can rob some pots. But yeah, I've got a busy next 2 or 3 months. I just got a busy life. I'm always busy. But yeah, if you guys like the content, please give it a like, leave me a comment down, say something, subscribe, hit the bell notification so every time I post a new video, it'll let you know. And just tell me what you guys think of the videos. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good night.